Mm.
Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. My name is Jesse Perez, having a case
So
of
as I was
Deja
saying,
vu
no,
right now.
sorry, go
Yeah, Jack just cuts me off right away.
ahead. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
So we have thank you, Mr. Wiretap Truths Leland, the rude Jack Simmons, the comedian, and Dan DeLuca and Ken Arnold. Dan came on. Check out his interview with us on. We had him for a one-on-one interview for his role in The Wire on season 4. Dr. David, what was the last name?
Parenti.
Parenti. That was a
But
great
I mean,
interview.
honestly, Jesse, we spent most of the time making fun of Ken. So
Yeah,
there's a little bit of that, and then there's like 45 minutes of bashing Ken.
yeah.
It's a good show.
So
Ken
what are you talking
Ken
about
was
now?
also on The Wire, and we own the city, and and a fellow alumni of you guys, Bobby J. Brown, rest in peace. Horrible accident they passed away on. So me and Dan, when Dan was on, he was talking about you guys doing the movies, and we said, let's watch the Night Watchmen and kind of like review it in a kind of asking you guys questions about it, and also just getting to know you guys also. So the Night Watchmen, I watched it that night actually.
Okay.
This is a pretty funny movie with so Blippy, what is it, Blippy the clown? So
Blimpo.
Blimpo.
Blimpo, Blimpo the clown comes from like he dies and then he comes and turns into a zombie and
Vampire.
a
Zompire.
vampire, a
Zompire.
vampire.
Yes.
Yeah.
From
So,
Romania. I like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack just watched it this morning, I think, right, Jack?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted it to be fresh in my head. And I gotta say that me and Jesse both liked it, and I'm not just saying that because we're interviewing you guys. I thought it was a really good movie. It had like a fun. It reminded me of like a 2000s like stoner comedy kind of thing. 'Cause I kept thinking about like Clerks or like Kevin Smith while I was watching it because it has that kind of vibe to it. I don't know if that was
I
intentional,
mean,
but
well, these are the type of things that influence us. That's kind of our era, with Clerks, but a lot of it too. Ken and I like a lot of the old horror films as well. Abbott and Costello stuff, the comedy horror stuff, and just kind of the classic horror stuff. So we wanted to kind of bring that feel into it as well.
that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely. I was thinking also like horror wise. I was thinking like especially Dawn of the Dead, like that era, because with them like Dawn of the Dead's about them like getting trapped in a mall. I kind of had that same sort of like
Yeah,
it's about.
we got lucky with that actually. We originally Ken said, "Hey, what can we shoot in his studio?" So Ken had a studio up in Baltimore, right next to where they cast The Wire, right next to Pat Moran. In fact, they used to cast out of your studio as well, right, Ken?
They did, yeah. They used my studio quite a bit for Veep was the main show at the time.
Wow.
Okay. That's
So he was like, "What can we shoot here?" And so we went back and forth. Well, let me digress a little bit. I get a call about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Ken has had one beer too many. And at that point,
Yep. Yeah. It's
like,
true.
what do you
True.
want? What do you
there's no
want?
one to do.
Yeah. So this was all a fever dream of Ken's. 3 o'clock in the morning. But anyway,
Well, it's
we
funny that
decided,
you
well,
said that because I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know I
no, no.
read that Tom Fontana, when he made Oz and stuff, he would wake up from his dreams and write down a scene as he, like if he had the scene in his dream and
I don't
stuff.
want to know what was in his head right now. Okay. Was
That
he
guy
as
needs to see
far
a
away from that
therapist.
as
Yeah.
possible?
That makes sense. So the nighttime is like a time when your brain just kind of wanders, right? It's like, that's when I feel like people are often their most creative. I don't know,
This
like,
is one of those things where you wake up and you try and write it down, and
right.
it comes out, and you end up having farting clowns.
Yes.
Right, this was
So anyway, we were going to shoot in a warehouse. Then Ken moved. We had another location, but then we got lucky enough, and a friend of ours, Bill Steffi, found this location for us, which was the old Gazette building in Annapolis that was shut down. And he was like, "Well, can we use it for a month, to shoot?" And we had like basically an entire studio there. Everything was in there. So we had all the offices. From time to time, we all slept in there, ate in there. Everything was in there. One studio. And so we rearranged the script to be an old newspaper instead of just a warehouse, and it made it that much more interesting, to be honest with you. And one of the things I always say is, when you have an issue like that, you don't look at it as a problem. You look at it as, what creative decision can I make to make this work for us? And it actually turned out better,
That's true. Yeah, flexibility is important, especially with something like that. Like with film, I feel like there's always like, oh, this didn't go exactly to plan, so like, let's change the plan essentially to make it, work.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the questions I was at. That's the building is an old newspaper.
Yes. It's an old newspaper.
Okay.
Yep.
Those
And
were-
all
those
that
were real
stuff was
impressive.
there. Yep.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that they walked out and left everything for us. Our set decorators did not have to go out and get anything. They had
Yeah.
desks, computers, everything that was in that building we had access to, we could use, and we did.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
made you decide to have an old newspaper?
Well,
No.
that was the thing. We because of the location, and we were able to get that location. That's why we changed it in the script to
Okay.
an old newspaper building. That
makes
that's-
sense.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
Was
were
that,
able to bring in the whole story, along with it, and Blimpo dying, and it's in the paper, and they're working on the paper, and it was kismet. It worked out great for us.
All right.
Now, did Gus Haynes want to cover this story, or
From
a little
from
wire
season 5 of
reference
The
for
Wire? Yeah.
I hope not.
that's a wire reference, Dan.
Yes.
We got no, but it's funny, right? So okay, you guys work security, right? Or
No.
have in the past?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Never.
because with these security guards, right? You got. So I've worked security. I'm working security now, actually, and you guys kind of nailed.
He's on the job right now.
You guys kind of nailed. Yeah, you guys kind of nailed the personalities of like, and there's a lot of downtime too, right? So like, just the guys like watching
Yes.
porn and stuff. It's funny, but it's like it's bullshit.
Playing cards.
You just watch TV sometimes, especially like on an overnight shift. Like, there's really not much to do. Like, you just like. So that the guy who was the Marine, I think it was Ken.
Kevin,
That was your Kevin,
Kevin's a
right?
good buddy of ours.
Yeah.
So
He was in The Wire as well, and then he's in a town called Purgatory as well, and some other films that we did. So whenever we do something, we always it's me, Ken, and Kevin. The three of us.
So I think you're getting a little mixed up there, Dan. He was talking about the Marine in the film, which was me, not the Marine who is actually a Marine, who is Kevin.
You're
Kevin
right.
Was,
I'm thinking of Kevin. Yeah, I don't
But
know
that's
why
good
I would
info, though.
think.
Yeah,
why
Kevin's
would you
actually
even know?
Yeah.
Shit.
Kevin
he's
was actually a Marine. Yes,
Oh,
he
awesome.
was, and he was in the Beirut bombing. Actually,
Wow.
They had, he was in that bombing. They had to dig him out. Yeah, so
Oh my
he
God.
went through a lot. Our buddy Kevin. Yeah, so
Yeah.
He came out just fine, except for the brain damage working with us. That happened after.
Oh, yeah. We would like to have him on the show. That would be pretty cool.
yeah, he would love it. I guarantee you, he'd love to come on. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He's out in LA right now.
Cool. So, but Ken, like, right, your character, right? Like,
Yes.
So, I'm like, I went for an interview, right, for the security position, which you just it's not really interviews for security jobs, but the guy who runs it was like an ex-Marine, right? And like how serious he took it, like, you know, and somebody's from my job is going to see this and they're going to crack up because they know
Just like art imitates life.
Yeah.
But I swear to you, because like, you know, the guy's like, you can't let people come in piggyback. Do you know what piggyback is off of people? And I'm like, yeah, I know what piggyback is. Right? I'm not, you know. And like he's like, don't let them come in. They have to use their own badge separately. And like how serious he's going for like this office position of just like swiping badges. So when I saw your character, Ken, I instantly thought of him and I cracked up. But I, you know, so I mean, you guys got the security field kind of nailed down, and the new guy that comes in, that's like, you guys are taking this shit all way too serious. I was like, yes. I was like, this is how it is. This is how it is working in a new place. So I don't know how you captured that atmosphere without having. I mean, I guess you could kind of tell, right? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the way it was written, thanks to Dan and Jamie Nash, that was my character was way too serious for his own good. And you know, the director Mitch Altieri, he actually sent me some notes prior to us shooting that he wanted me to be like, you know, take it to another level. That my job was way so important, even though it's really not. You know, he told me to watch The Big Lebowski and pattern my guy after John Goodman's character. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Kind of like pattern it after him. Like he took everything way too seriously in that movie. Goodman. I keep wanting to say Candy, but John Goodman. But yeah. So yeah, that was the character. That was what I was going for. Was just I'm way too serious about everything. So
I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, even the thing about like taking like the military history, you know, and then it has like, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but there's a nice.
No, I
like,
think we can, right? We could give away
Oh
spoilers.
yeah, I mean,
okay. I really like the twist at the end that it turns out he was just not good at firing his gun. Like I thought that was like a perfect, you know, because it's like the lead guy is always like, oh, this guy's super badass, right? But it's like, what if we had two guys that are actually really bad at shooting these people? Like what do
Exactly.
they do in this situation?
Jack, one of the things I wanted to do with the characters was make them exactly what you didn't think they were. So they're telling you what they are, or somebody else is telling you what they are. Like they think my character is some sort of assassin, killer, mafia guy. And Jiggett's, you know, it's just trying to play off being this badass kind of guy from the hood. And, you know, and Ken's character. And then eventually you find out all of them are wrong. I, you know, made cannoli for a living, and you know, Jiggett's was a Jew from Connecticut. You know,
Yeah.
And, it was.
And to be fair, cannolis are tough to make. They, you know, but
you know, I had years of experience though, so
that makes sense. It's like it flips everything on its head. You know.
Yeah, we wanted everybody to kind of think of them as one person, and then realize that they're totally wrong, because that's the way everybody is in real life, right? When you first meet somebody, you think so many things about them. Like I thought Ken was, you know, smart, but then later on, I'm sorry, Ken is smart.
This is a roast of Ken here.
I know he can't help himself. It's like it's a disease. He just keeps going and going and going.
It really
we
is.
all have friends like that.
That's
right,
a true friendship right there.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
Oh,
yeah. So it works. I'll tell you guys, and I don't know if Ken remembers this. I think he does. The best compliment we ever got on that movie was we get a review that said, "Oh, this is borderline racist. It's borderline, you know, mansplaining everything, and you know, but you got to go see it."
Yeah, exactly.
And then literally the same day we get a review that, oh, it breaks racial stereotypes, you know, and all.
Yeah.
It was just like the opposite review, but also you got to go see it. So, you know, it worked. It worked.
that makes sense. So even like with Jiggett's, like, you know, the fact is he's black, but he's not good at acting black. And they say, you know, he doesn't like it turns out he's like a black Jewish guy and he doesn't know how to dance. And like I thought that was yeah, like every like you said, it just like it plays with every trope. Even throughout, what did he say? He said like faux shore instead of faux shizzle, and they're like, no man, like that's not.
Yeah. He puts camouflage on everything, watches NASCAR. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and that whole speech was, a lot of that was like, I, as an Italian, when I came here to America, watching them do strange things like write thank you notes for, writing a thank you note. That it just changed it to a black guy, and it worked.
That's great.
James, I don't want to mess up his name. The Dexter's
Jiggets.
father.
James
No.
Remar.
Oh, James
James
Remar.
Remar.
Yeah.
James Remar.
Yeah.
He was hysterical as the perverted.
he's brilliant.
boss.
Yeah.
He's like covering the girl in the back of the.
Go back and watch all of James Remar's roles throughout the years. You won't find a role like that anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
never played a
He was
role like
effing
that.
brilliant. He was brilliant. Ken,
So
tell the story. Tell the story about we were all sitting around talking about being arrested.
Oh, so we're sitting around. Everybody gets to talking about being arrested, because everybody's been arrested or whatever, in their youth. And I said something, somebody else, and then you hear like he's over in the corner, James Remar, and you hear, I remember the first time I got arrested. I flew back from the UK, and when I landed in Los Angeles, they were there. They picked me up for heroin. And we were like, what? And then
we're talking about protesting.
Protest. What
getting
a bar fight or something, in college where I got drunk or something. And then he goes, yeah. And then there was that other time I went to Australia and I got to the airport and they got me there for heroin. And then he goes off and then he tells another story about heroin.
The movie
like,
Aliens, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. So what's his name?
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn is in that movie. Yeah, but James Remar was the original one, but got arrested in London on heroin.
Yeah.
So they brought Michael Biehn in
To replace
I'm noticing a pattern, James.
Yes, exactly. And James Remar is in one scene in Aliens, but it's his back, and it's the back of him. So
Wow.
and then Michael Biehn took over the role, and they replaced him. But but James Remar's been sober for almost 35 years now, I think. Yeah, so he's
That's honestly, I've heard that's a hard drug to get off too. That's that's the pain, the physical pain too. I was in rehab for alcohol, and I was like next to a heroin person, and they're like, all like they got like covers on them when it's like freaking burning in there already, or like and it's alcohol is pretty serious too. But everything. Abusing anything is serious, right? we tell our viewers not to abuse anything,
I eat too many cheeseburgers, but I'm fine at it.
Yeah, that's what I've been abusing lately.
Gotta pack them on.
And then we got this beautiful actress, right? Who kind of plays a role, and then she comes in with her friend, and they kind of say hi to the new security guard.
You're so mean to her, to Penny.
Yeah.
Just
like
completely ignoring her.
And they're like pointlessly mean to Penny, and and then they're
just like, who are you? Like they're like, we met like over and over again.
For some reason, I could tell they were girlfriends. I don't know. I saw her coming.
That took me by surprise. I was like, oh, I like when they reacted, when your characters reacted to. They're like, oh, okay, didn't expect that when they find out. That,
no, we were actually kind of intrigued by it. That was kind of like,
oh yeah. And it was unique. But then at the end, Karen and Ken, they come together. It's something about like killing vampires, I don't know, brings people together at the end, you know.
That was actually not in the script originally. That was a director thing. So I'll have to give him credit for that.
That was good though. Yeah, I never knew that James Remar, like they showed the back of him. That's kind of like what they did with Back to the Future, right? Because it wasn't Michael J. Fox, and nowadays it's like if they replace an actor, they just would have like a CG, like they could just
Oh yeah.
digitally. Yeah, it's like creepier now. Yeah, but no, definitely a fun movie. I think my favorite quotes, I wrote them down. It was a tie between the Justin saying "I touched vampire dick," and then my other two were those dirty cops walking around here with their dirty unwiped assholes. That was Jiggets, and I think Ken said, "I know some fetish sites that will pay a lot of money for a genuine piece of
That was
Blimpo."
that was actually James
Remar
that said that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And there probably are. Probably there's plenty of. Probably it's a new Blimpo fetish now as a result of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you see Remar in the movie, he kind of got this little limp when he walks right through the whole thing, which really added to his character. He actually broke his toe when he got off the plane.
Yeah. He broke his toe.
Wow. Okay.
Going through security, coming to from LA, he dropped his laptop on his foot and broke his foot. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. But he was
So
a
then-
trooper.
What a true. Yeah.
So when all these people getting killed, like the main stars are gonna survive.
Work-related
to
injury.
it, and then- Oh, when they crapped themselves, was that from South Park when they die and crapped themselves? I know South
No,
Park did it.
I was so one of the things I wanted to kind of bring into it was, first of all, how do you protect yourself? You've ever seen a movie with neck collars on for vampires? No, never. You never see that. And then when people die, that's what happens, right? But you don't see it in the movie. The problem becomes once you do it once, you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
you got to keep on doing that. And so we figured we run with it, and it's like, okay, yeah. It hasn't been done in movies before, right? But that's what happens when you die.
I think when Penny died, right? They were like, "Oh, I'm surprised she," and then she ended up doing it.
Guess what? There was a cut of the film that did not have Penny's fart in it. And I had to go back to the editors and say, you got to add that in. It's got to be there, because it's every single time. And you could see that we reacted to it. The sound wasn't there. And so they put it back in, and that's the final version of the film. But there is a version of the film that's out there somewhere that does not have that Penny fart.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a Sinners comparison real quick here too.
They stole some stuff from us.
It's true. Them burning at the end, like that. I was watching.
Yeah, there's some similar stuff. Yeah.
Ryan Coogler, expect to have a call from the lawyers here. So
I thought more when the person tries not to be a vampire and they try to trick them. And they go, are they or aren't they and stuff? That was,
and the whole guns just slow them down. There was quite a bit of stuff that you've never seen in any other movie before, and then it ends up in Sinners.
It's true. Yeah, it's kind of true. So when you guys saw Sinners, did you guys call each other like, "Hey, did you notice?"
I called up Ken.
Yes,
and I'm like,
yes,
Ken,
we did.
What did you notice something about Sinners? And he goes, "Yes,
yes,
they stole our
did.
Stuff." There you go.
But I enjoyed Sinners. I thought it was a good movie. So I thought it was great. But there were some similarities that I was just like, man, God darn it.
So if they win the Oscar for best screenplay, you guys can be like, well, we helped you out a little bit, like.
The dancing, they had a dancing scene in Sinners. We got the sexy dance from Barney.
That's true.
Yeah.
Barney played by
Dan Franco.
Okay.
Who was also in The Wire. He had a role on The Wire as well. Yep.
Really? What did he play? I'm not sure.
He was a police officer when they took the mayor, Carcetti.
Okay.
Yeah, they took him out, and they were sitting there looking at something, and he was one of the cops sitting in the front of the squad car talking to him, telling him, this is what we do,
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, his character Barney was just like such an asshole that you look forward to him getting killed and even at the end when they could tell like you guys didn't really want to save him because he's just like that guy that's always complaining about he's a good like I feel like in every great horror film there's always one character where you're just like I can't wait to see this guy like
die.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dan Dan Franco in real life is he's a very funny guy. He gets a little uptight sometimes, just like Barney, but he's a lot of fun, and just him doing that sexy dance and getting to do it. As a matter of fact, there was one take where I was supposed to call cut, like I was the one who was supposed to end the scene. And he was doing the dance, and he just kept going, and he kept going, and he kept going, and I just wouldn't stop. I just wouldn't say cut. I just sat there and watched it. He started to sweat. He's getting all tired. He's like, "Are you going to call this or not?" He's over there doing his sexy dance.
Like, how long can we get him to do this for?
Exactly. And he just kept going. He was so mad at the end. He's like, "Come on, I was going forever." Like, yeah,
that was another thing. How do you know if somebody's a vampire or not whether they've been bitten? And I tried to think of the stupidest possible thing to make them do, just the dumbest thing, and that's what came out of it, the dancing.
That's true. Well, these guys were like zombie, like because when I think there's been so many vampire movies, right? And it's like I feel like there's been a kind of resurgence. These ones was kind of one of the first where they don't really have like a conscience, because usually I don't know when like in a lot of vampires they just are usually like talking or even in Sinners, but these were zompires and everything. So
yeah, when they first get bitten, they're kind of weak and slow and dumb, right? And then as they feed and they get stronger and they get faster, but in the beginning they're more like zombies until they feed and get that energy. So that's how we created them.
I like the time mistake also. Everybody thought the sun was going to rise. Like, oh, this is not yet.
Fuck, we're off by 1 hour.
Damn it.
I love the pointless nudity. I thought that was a fun little jab at because I like that's awesome. It's like
that was for our Japanese audience.
Right.
Seriously, when they went to sell it, that's what they said. They said Japanese audiences like that and the nudity. So we're going to put it in just so it sells better there. And we were like, all right, I guess. So.
I kind of thought it was just like a funny kind of like take on like, why have a whole like storyline of a romance with nudity? Is like, nope, here it goes real quick for you. And that was it,
Yes.
I just thought that was it was a funny movie, man. It was good.
Yeah.
It's on so far our viewers to check it out, man. Dan DeLuca and Ken Arnold wrote and directed.
No, we didn't.
The Night Watchmen. I'm sorry.
We didn't direct it. Mitchell Carey directed it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question about the farts again, of course, because I have a lot of questions about those. Did you guys use that like in post production, or was there like one of those like fart machines that you used?
We actually had to hire actors
Who could fart.
Send the best fart through an audition and see.
Yes. And if not, we would call in the stunt double to fart, the stunt farter.
It was Ken because he was fully loaded all the time.
In case one of them gets a stomach ache.
Yeah.
It's true that you never think about them. Like that is a thing. That's always been, that was one of those things that people told you when you're younger is that like, oh yeah, people shit their pants when they die. But you never actually see it on a movie, It would have changed a lot of like really dramatic movies if they had that,
Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like at the end of Titanic, if
They should go back and do Dracula and all that stuff over again. And
how do they know they're dead?
Put the farts back in. Put the farts in. Let's go.
Now, at the end of the movie, you guys kind of set yourself up for a sequel. Like it's kind of set it up like we got to take on the world. I mean, I'm not trying to spoil or anything, but was that intentional to leave it open like that?
Yeah, the sequel has been written.
Okay.
Yeah, and it basically, the only thing I'll kind of give away is these guys end up holing up in the basement of the Gazette there in the building, and they don't realize how long they've been there holed up. And this woman basically traipses all the way from Australia into Baltimore because rumor has it that's ground zero where Blimpo is. And she stumbles upon them by mistake. And that's when she reveals to them that they've been in this basement for like 8 years.
They think
But it's
they've been there like 6 months. They've been there 8 years.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's like it's a man cave, Why do they want to leave? It's the
Right.
whole thing.
They got everything you
Pinball
need.
machines, food, whatever they need, it's there. So it's like, why?
Guys need very little to be satisfied, really. They just need
Yeah.
like a TV and some food to eat and water, and then
Jiggins is growing his pot. Ken is writing his
Yeah.
stories. I'm cooking. It's like, hey,
who needs the outside world?
the outside
Yeah.
world.
Kind of like that you see like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
That was kind of like had that same vibe. Well, but he was more just like a doomsday fanatic, and then they kind of set it up at the end. So do you guys think you'd be able to survive? Like, would you do the same thing if a zombie apocalypse happened?
I went out and played paintball a few times with my kids, and I realized I would probably be the first one dead.
Right? Me too, man.
I'm gonna be the first one to die. Yeah, it's just
I
It's a good
don't
strat.
know. I'm a better to be honest. I'm a better shot in real life, so I might last a little while. But
Put those skills to the test.
yeah,
It seems like
I've
with sinners,
got a
like Jesse
bullet
said, it's
hole
like
in
vampires
my
are kind of
leg.
coming back.
Ken shot me in the leg once.
yeah.
That's how bad he was in the target practice. I'm kidding.
With
Oh,
a
it's hard.
paintball gun, I'm hoping.
Jack, it's a joke. You're a comedian. Move on.
I thought for a second it was like one of those Dick Cheney things. I didn't know if that
Jack
was.
just didn't. Jack just didn't know how to respond. He was like, "What?"
I don't know. I'm very gullible. I believe anything people tell.
I will say this though. I did throw Dan across the set one time.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Literally.
Oh, yeah. So have you guys? Okay, so that's an interesting question, right? And I don't mean to stir up the pot here, but have you guys do you guys come across argument? Doing this podcast, me, Jack, and Leland, we'll disagree on something, and we'll be like, and sometimes we'll stand on our point. We'll be like, no, like I really believe this, right? And I think we kind of said, doing something creative, we're going to get into arguments and stuff. Well, and it's never been like a full blown argument, but we've all been disagreed and stuff. Do you guys ever come to a point like that creatively?
Yeah, I mean there are things that we disagree on, but we understand that that's part of the process, though. And,
Right.
that we're both trying to get to the best possible product that we can put out. So I think that's the thing with Dan and I. We listen to each other, and then we work off of that, and we figure it out. Especially
I don't think we've
last
ever really gotten into an argument in 20 years. I know you've wanted to kill me multiple times, but that has nothing to do with the disagreement. It's just something stupid that I did. What I've noticed, oddly, I mean, Ken and I are to the point where if we have a business meeting or a meeting about scripts or whatever it is, and I can't make it, I'm like, whatever you say goes, Ken, and he'll do the same thing. I mean, that's how much we trust each other on stuff. And a lot of times, and I'd say like 99% of the time when we're going through like editing, when we were like re-editing the Town Called Purgatory, we had the same, thought process through the whole thing. We might have disagreed with the editors and the color correction people and whatnot, but we both agreed, on what we thought should be done.
Sure.
You guys definitely
What's
it seems
that?
again it's like a lot of trust, which I think is important. Like you said, like if you kind of know, like you trust each other's visions to be on like the similar point, even if it's not the same thing. I think that that's important, just to be able to like be like, all right, this guy, he's, even if I don't agree with him on everything, I know that like we both have the same kind of vision, so we'll get to that point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Because especially with this show, there's like 1,000 different voices that like, so you have to have, there's got to be like disagreements at some point, and I don't know.
Yeah, and generally, I can't remember any time that we've really disagreed for more than 5 minutes, and then moved on from there. Yeah, it's first of all, it's not worth destroying a project over a simple disagreement. The second of all, you got to realize maybe you're not always right, and to put the other perspective on and see how that works. And I think it's gone both ways. A lot of times I'll step back and Ken will do it, and whatever he does is fine with me, and I think vice versa. Except Sleeping with His Wife, he's not really happy about that.
When I was like 16, me and my friend wanted to write like a horror movie, right? I think horror movies like the genre most people would want to lean towards. I don't know. I would think that as a writer, because it just seems like the most fun, And it was a comedy. It was a comedy horror movie. It's funny. I remember this like 25 years later. But well, it wasn't like a full screenplay, but this was the idea we had when we were kids and stuff. And I haven't seen it been done yet. I just thought it would be funny if we ever see it in a horror movie. Every time like somebody got killed, the Count from Sesame Street would pop up and go, "One murder."
Killer puppets.
Yes.
Now, as a producer, I'm going to tell you that's expensive.
Inexpensive. Now wait, Dan, we did do Killer Puppet.
Yes, but not with the Count.
I know, but we did have a killer puppet.
We did have
in our second feature film that we did. His name was Ferkley, and he was a serial killer puppet. He was murdering people left and right. Oh yeah.
If you get a chance to watch A Comedy of Horrors Volume 1, that's what he's talking about. And it's a series of 4 different shorts and then kind of a flow through it.
Oh, I like that. Why would that be expensive? Why would
the Count is proprietary, so you'd have to pay.
Yes, Sesame Street. Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, you never get the rights. You never get the rights to do that.
Well, there's also that movie like Puppet Master, and there was a few other sequels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we met the people who distributed the Puppet Master, and they make a ton of money off of that film. Oh man.
Yeah.
Mostly from just like Tubi and everything playing it, and resales. And I guess that's one of the great things too, is that there's always like a market for lower budget films. And like I saw this on Tubi, and I feel like it's the best streaming service because it's not it's free, and it's just like
they set it up pretty well.
Yeah, and it provides sort of like an outlet for just filmmakers who are like, here's my product and everything. Because I don't know, even on the major streaming services, you don't really find like, sometimes you're looking through a movie and it just won't be there, and you're like, well, why are there all these streaming services if it's still there? But yeah. So Jesse, what's this Puppet Master like? What exactly? Who's killing them? Is it not the puppets?
It was in the vein of Scream and stuff, but every time somebody like died, we just had a random the count pop up and go 1 murder, 2 murder. We just thought that was funny. And but so then I was gonna say, can you tell us a little bit about Dan and Ken? Actually first, Ken. So we read up on you a little. 9 years in the Major League Baseball.
No.
Minor leagues.
I was in the minor leagues. I never made it to the big leagues. I was in the minor leagues. So I played 9 years in the minor leagues. I played for the Cubs, Orioles, Texas Rangers. When I was with the Orioles, I was a shortstop. And unfortunately for me, they had a guy who would never take a day off. So there was no upward mobility in that organization. So I wasn't going to get to the big leagues with the Orioles. So because I was a shortstop and they already had one. But, I had a lot of fun playing baseball, and I transitioned near the end of my baseball career into acting because I felt like baseball wasn't hard enough. So I decided to go with something harder.
And some people can make a decent living off of being minor league, right?
By the time I was done, by my seventh, eighth, and ninth year, I was doing okay. I was making decent money at the time. Wasn't great, but I could live off of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but my wife had our second child, and I decided to call it, hang them up and go transition into doing movie stuff. And I've been in the minor leagues in the movie business for 30 years now too.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing.
Every once in a while I get called up for a cup of coffee in this business. I go, Men in Black 3, The Wire, of course. We Own the City. I get called up every once in a while, and it's fun, and I love it. So,
nice. A lot of different stuff. Like I was, Children's Hospital, which is a great show, by the way. We Own the City. We just watched also, and we thought it was really good. Like how was your experience filming that show? Did you?
We Own the City. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was great because I work with those guys on The Wire. So, and I know them, and I've known them for years. I've auditioned for them many times. George Pelicanos, who was one of the creators of The Wire and We Own the City, I know him pretty well. So he's from this area, and talk to him all the time. So yeah, it was a great experience. Wunmi Masako, the actress that I worked with in all my scenes, was fantastic. And I got to talk to her about being in the Marvel show Loki. She was in Loki. So just to talk to her.
You had worked with Bernthal on a film.
Yes, I did. I worked with Bernthal 25 years ago on a small independent film here in Maryland. Wow. And we had been friends since then. And, I saw him in the makeup trailer, and it was like we had just seen each other like the day before, even though it had been 20 some years.
I'm going to go see him in Dog Day Afternoon. They're doing the play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw that. Saw that. Yeah. I'm going to try and get up there too. I think that's going to be good. Him and the guy who's in The Bear with him, Baccarat. Yeah.
Evan Mox something. Yeah.
I'm going April 4th if you guys want to make your calendar around Jesse.
Wow.
You guys also had a movie that just premiered on Amazon, A Town Called Purgatory. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Go ahead, Dan. Tell them about Purgatory. Yes, you wrote it.
I'm going to step back just a second and digress. And I want you to know that the concept when Ken and I came up with the Night Watchmen, it was supposed to be a drama. And it was supposed to be like Oscar worthy. So just keep that in mind.
It was. That's interesting. So was it supposed to be a drama?
No, it's messing with you. No.
If me and Jack were in charge of the show, we'll just believe every
it was actually
Dan DeLuca has made a drama.
They eventually turned it into Oppenheimer. That's how it started. That's how James Remar wind up in the movie.
That it was supposed to be like that. It was originally Sinners. I get it.
That was originally Sinners. Yes. So basically, this was another thing that Ken had come up with. He was working on a movie called Bill Tillman and the Outlaws. It was also called The Marshal. And he was on that for like a month or something. You were working on that.
Yep.
And, I think every other day he's calling me up and saying, hey, Dan, we got to do a horror Western. We got to do a horror Western. We got to do a horror Western. So basically he annoyed me enough to the point where, I said, well, let's talk about, concepts and stuff like that. And we came up with the Skinwalker because we wanted something a little bit different. It's been kind of done, but not really well. We wanted to do something that we could stick to the lore of, and be as honest with whatever the legend was, whatever we chose, whether it was Wendigo or Skinwalker or whatever. And we had watched all the shows and read books on it, and whatnot. And so the movie, it was written during COVID, so it had to be like a very kind of contained movie, very few actors, very few locations, that kind of thing. And it was kind of in the back seat. And then we were supposed to do another film, and I'll let Ken take that from there.
We were supposed to do a film in Romania that was a road trip movie. It was supposed to go from Budapest to Bucharest, and it had a ton of different locations, and it had a ton of different actors in it. And when COVID hit, it made it virtually impossible to shoot that movie. We were already scheduled to go to Romania. We were scheduled to shoot it. Everything was in place to do that film. COVID shut everything down. We had a meeting with our producer in Austria and on Zoom. And as we were signing off, I just randomly said, you wouldn't happen to have an old Western town that we could shoot a film in over there? And he, sits back and he thinks for a second, then he leans in and says, I have one in 15 minutes from my house. And we're like, what? Yeah. So the next day, he's given us a video tour of this site, this town, this old Western town in Austria, south of Vienna. And he's like, we can use this. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, we flew over, we took a look at it. And then 4 weeks after that, we were shooting a movie. We were shooting a town called Purgatory in Austria. Yeah.
Nice. So now we can watch this on Amazon Prime. We have to pay for it, or?
Right now it's in its rental window. So yeah, it's going to be $4.99, I believe, $3.99 on some of the other sites, Fandango, Apple. You can get it through your basic cable, like your Fios, your Xfinity. You can rent it there as well. It'll jump to the free window coming up in a few months. And then it'll be on Tubi and things like that. So,
sure. By the way, also, I just wanted to say, you mentioned Wunmi Mosako too. Just to come full circle, she's newly Oscar nominated.
Yes.
Now, this played in a couple of film festivals, like CineQuest Film Festival. I was doing my research. Okay. By the way, just so you know, Dan's Wikipedia photo is fantastic. I thought. I just wanted to tell you that you're very very chilling guy, like the cocktail and everything. I need a cool Wikipedia photo, but if that ever happens, yeah, just very like.
Is that some Italian wine, Dan?
Yes, it is. Yes,
oh, very nice. Very like old cool style, like 2009 Facebook photo kind of stuff. I was wondering,
it was taken at a film event.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's it like? What was that going to a film festival and having it screened there? What's that like? I've always wondered about that.
So I will tell you the last film festival that we showed it at, and that was the Tombstone Film Festival. And I think both Ken and I were scared out of our wits showing it there because everybody there was a cowboy. It's a cowboy movie, and this film festival was cowboys. It was all cowboy stuff. And so we're like, are we going to look like urban cowboy here? What's it going to look like? So we were a little bit kind of freaking out about that. Generally, we're happy to go and we're happy to talk and we're happy to, meet people. And I don't think we've ever had a film where, people haven't enjoyed it. And so, yeah, this was the one time where we were kind of worried, and we ended up winning the film festival. And people, came up to us and, oh my God, that was great, and blah, blah, blah. And so I think that was kind of my favorite, having the Cowboys like the cowboy movie, because that's awesome. I don't know how you felt, Ken, but.
Well, yeah. Also, film festivals, we've been to so many, especially with the Night Watchmen. The Night Watchmen.
Have you guys done like Sundance and Cannes?
No. We didn't get in, but we were in some huge ones for horror with the Night Watchmen. Sitges we were in, which was in Spain. We couldn't go to Fantasia, which was in Canada. And I was scheduled to go, but I had a family emergency. I had to back out. But we did go into some really big festivals with that, and it's just great to be involved in something that big. It was really kind of nice. We went to CineQuest. CineQuest was a great film festival, and just to sit in the audience and feel the energy of the audience, and each audience is different. I mean, some are loud and obnoxious, others are quiet and they're just sitting there, and and when they laugh at the right moments and what's intended to happen and it happens, and then you get that reaction from the audience, it's no better feeling. It's fantastic. So, and then when you win awards, it's even better. We won a lot of awards with that movie. So
I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. You guys are film guys. The Room, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, I love that movie. I love it.
That's great.
One of the most
I own it.
Times I had. That's one of the most fun times I had at the theater. I was telling this girl I work with about it, and when I told her that, like, you throw spoons at a spoon, and everybody throws spoons, she was cracking up about it. Like,
you're driving me insane.
Yeah. So I was just
that guy starred in I read that book that it's based on, the Disaster Artist, and
Disaster Artist,
and he made that in Romania too. I was thinking about that, like I guess it's like, is it cheaper to shoot like there, or is that
In fact, most of our crew in Austria was Romanian.
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
Because they were cheaper.
Great crew. They would probably slit your throat if you looked at them the wrong way, but great crew.
Different,
but they're
different
good.
cultures.
They're reliable. Yeah,
they're reliable.
They were good. They were great. Great crew. Fantastic.
Yeah, they were so great. One day they were having a rock fight. They were throwing rocks at each other. I was like, what in the hell is going on right now? They're throwing rocks and yelling at each other in Romanian. What is going on?
Like, this is what we do for fun. Yeah.
I guess.
So what's the rules for cans? Like, is it like, I heard something like Sundance or Cannes? Maybe you guys could tell me. Like, if you submit it, you're not allowed to submit to other film festivals or something. Is that true?
Well,
it has to be a premiere at that festival.
Yes. So it can play at other festivals after it premieres at either Sundance or Cannes. But all those film festivals, Sundance and Cannes, I mean, if you're an independent filmmaker at our level... And
there's a New York one too, right? There's like a big New York
Tribeca. Yeah, Tribeca. So if those festivals at the level we're at, independent filmmaking, we're not going to get it. I don't care, unless our film is so good.
Didn't Clerks get into like Sundance though?
Yes. So, but they had an agent. They knew somebody who got them in. Those are that's what happens. All those films, they have people in them. They have connections. They're curated festivals. Very few, like maybe 5% of the films that get into those are through the actual submission process.
Oh, wow.
The other 95% have already been chosen. Agents got those films in, sales agents, studios. They've already got them in, and they're already slated. They already know that they're going to.
I feel like that's kind of like messed up, though. I don't know.
That's the way it works. That's how it is.
Horror is not the type of thing that generally you're going to see at Sundance.
Right.
Or Cannes, or any of these festivals.
You said the horror festival, the horror film festival that you guys premiered on. That's a big horror. That's the biggest horror one to premiere.
Fantasia and Sitges in Europe were the two.
Spain, and then Sitges is Spain.
Yeah.
You're right about Sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
No, I want to go to HorrorCon. I haven't been to HorrorCon yet. I have a friend that goes to them and stuff. Do you guys ever go to that? Yeah.
What, HorrorCons? Yeah, we do. Sometimes we get tables at them. We've been at Creature Feature Weekend, New Jersey HorrorCon. We do Fright Reads in the fall here in Maryland. So we've been to a few HorrorCons. We did
Monster Mania. We were guests at Monster Mania to show this film, A Town Called Purgatory.
Monsterpalooza is what you mean.
Sorry, Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
In LA. And that's like huge. you're talking like 100,000 people come see that thing. It's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Jack.
I'm sure they're blessed. I'm sure they're blessed. I'm trying to go to Comic-Con next year for the first time since.
You should.
Dude, the last time I went there was 2017. That was when there was an internet trend. I'm sure Jesse remembers it, where people were dressing up like clowns and
Yes.
terrorizing people just to make it come full circle. And but there are no Blimpos. Blimpo was like 7 feet tall, from what I could gather.
What made you guys choose a killer clown?
Well,
It was-
in the beginning, it
Yeah.
wasn't clowns. If you remember, Blupo was just a character that we kind of expanded. You know,
So he
Yeah.
was in the movie Blimpo as a character, and then the director said, "Why don't we make them all clowns?" You know, and so it went from there. Yeah.
yeah.
Was it
Yep.
because was there like a inspiration? Like, did they want it because of like was there any inspiration from the
Yeah,
director's
Killer
point of view of,
Crowns
like,
from Outer Space.
Killer
was-
Clown? Yeah, that's what I figured. That or like
That movie was freaking awesome. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, man.
the ice cream.
Our director was a big fan of that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I could see it. It has, the movie. What I like about this movie is there's a lot of like gags, like recurring jokes, and it's like I miss that style of comedy. I think it's slowly coming back with like The Naked Gun, but it seemed like there was a period where like I don't know, mainstream they just stopped like making
That was a
comedy
good
movies.
point, Jack. I'm glad The Naked Gun did so good in theaters because, well, I don't even know if it did great in theaters, but I know it was very well reviewed. When I was watching it, everybody was cracking up. I'm sure
Same.
you guys like the resurgence of comedy era too. That's in favor of your genres, right?
Yes, I feel like people or comedians and writers and things like that, they got a little scared there for a while. They were like, "Yeah, can we do that? Can we do that?" For me and Dan, though, we didn't care.
We don't
We
care.
were like, "Yeah," we were like, "Whatever, just do it." If they cancel us, so be it.
We're in the same spot we were before that.
Yeah, we don't want to like step on it.
Yeah, man, that's you're not wrong on that, right? There was a big eggshell walking on on cancellation culture there for a second, you know.
Yep.
And it's like,
We'd
But
be lucky
what-
to be canceled.
Yes.
one thing I did enjoy about comedians though is they kind of like stuck.
I love
together,
that.
you know, the comedians when they kind of just said, he was. They'll
that's
stick
the
up.
thing.
They're like, he got a right to make that joke and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, most of them did. There's some of them definitely.
What was that? Got quiet for a second. Jack, did you?
Yeah, I think people want to laugh, and when they watch movies and when they go to comedy clubs and they watch TV shows, most people are smart enough. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
To not get offended. Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. So, I think what most people when they watch like movies and okay, it seems like people understand there's like a context, right? I think that's the thing is that like most people understand when they're watching something on TV not to take it too seriously, and then there's like some people that just like they go out of their way to just be like offended by some bullshit, and then they make a whole storm on social media and they write articles about it. But it's like it's such a difference between like reality and like what people are writing about, because it's like, yeah, people want to laugh at stuff, especially stuff that's like offensive or whatever. I think that cuts to something deep, that when something's inappropriate, like I don't know, we want to laugh
Yeah.
at that.
There's gratuitous, and then there's a comedy that is, I think, makes fun of how we are as people and the stupidity of people. And its most kind of self-deprecating humor. So, I mean, if you look at the Night Watchmen, a lot of it's self-deprecating humor.
Right.
They're not poking fun at other people; they're poking fun at themselves. But I always tell people that ask me about writing. I say, do not censor yourself. You cannot, because then what you're writing becomes vanilla. you
Hmm.
know, and it's like every other film, and everything is the same, and there's no there's no conflict, and story is nothing but conflict. And that's a problem with a lot of, I think, independent films and indie filmmakers and stuff. You know, there's not enough conflict, and whether it's internal or external, you know, with the characters, there needs to be conflict.
Oh yeah, but characters need flaws too, and I think certain times
Oh yeah.
writers are afraid to write characters with flaws because there's dumb people that like think, oh wow, the writers are endorsing this idea or whatever. Like I went and saw that movie. I know Jesse saw it too. That Marty Supreme, and like I love that movie, and the character is like a total asshole. But that's kind of like the point. He has a lot of flaws, but he's also kind of relatable in a way.
Hmm.
And it's like you need people that are just not afraid to be honest about. Because if you're censoring yourself, like how are you supposed to get to the heart of what people are? And you know.
When you guys get a chance to watch A Town Called Purgatory, you will see exactly that. And my character is an asshole. He's really an asshole through the movie. He's racist. He's an asshole, and
Ken, this
you know,
is
that
your
was one of
shot.
those things. What's
Ken,
that?
this is your shot to get him back.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth the trouble.
This is him in your
I saw
software.
I saw the opening for you, Ken. I just had to say it.
I know, but the whole thing is with Dan is, you know, he's an asshole in real life. So there you go.
There you go. I gave you the shot. Sorry, Dan.
That
I
is
just
true.
wanted to take
No,
it
I
as-
mean, you know, he's being honest. He's being honest. But the thing is, if you don't have that conflict in the beginning with this character, you can't make that character grow. And it was kind of one of the things we had with the director of the film was he took all this kind of conflict out, and it seemed like these three characters were buddies from the beginning to the end. Ken and I said, no, that's not story. Story needs character growth, right? Everybody's got to learn, everybody's got to grow, become somebody better. They're still themselves, but they learn something. And so, you know, we went in, re-edited and put all that stuff back in. And so when you see the characters and you think Ken's a hard ass and you think my character is just a racist asshole, and then you start to realize who they really are and why they are who they are. You know, it's not that they're just like that for no reason. They were that way for a reason, and then they learned something like maybe I shouldn't be this way. You know, for a reason, and then it's one of the pitfalls of novice writers writing everything kind of vanilla. I don't want to offend anybody. You know, you need to
Right.
offend everybody is the point. Don't select people to offend. You know,
Mhm.
offend everybody.
Oh yeah, especially like if you look at like for example, like the old Star Wars movies versus the new ones, the biggest criticism was the characters were too bland because they were written without flaws. And
Right.
so when someone has no flaws, they're boring. You need
Yeah.
somebody to even the new Superman, like it's like how do you write Superman, a guy who's like can defeat any well, you give him like personal flaws that he has to
Right.
deal with because
I mean, we
people
already love Supergirl, right? She
mm,
comes in, she's drunk, she's obnoxious. We want to see Supergirl.
right,
know?
she's spunky, you know, and
Yeah.
James Gunn specifically is great at doing that. But like, yeah,
Yes, she is.
you need like that, you know, that little like pizzazz attitude. That's
Yeah.
what you know. It adds like the flavor to everything, you know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing A Town Called Purgatory.
And
Are you
I
guys?
will tell you, what Ken was talking about earlier, where he almost killed me on set. There is a sequence where, you know, I am trying to convince him not to do something, and he's supposed to shove me away. And it's probably about 35 degrees outside. We're on literally gravel. And he shoves me so hard that I come off my feet, literally come off my feet. It must have flown about 10 feet.
Jesus,
Yeah.
was this off? What did you land on? Did you?
I landed
land
on hard
his
gravel.
face.
No, I landed on my back, but I landed on hard gravel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is it with you versus James breaking his foot or his toe, right? You guys just like
I didn't break
something
anything.
about
I was solid after that, you know. it was the schnitzel and the sauerkraut that kept me strong. At the time.
Yeah. Strong, yeah. Oh, that's right, because you got the catering from there.
Oh, it
Oh,
was so bad.
it was so bad.
It was horrid.
What is schnitzel? Isn't that like a type of hot dog or something? I'm
No,
sounds
No,
so good. It's
schnitzel
fuck.
is
Schnitzel.
it's,
Chicken.
Oh, okay.
It's either chicken or pork fried.
Yeah,
You know, like
they
a chicken fried steak. you know?
they pound it and make it really
It's a cutlet.
thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cutlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really dry and stuff.
Yeah.
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 That was the best stuff we ate.
Yeah.
Didn't compare it to the wire catering.
No, the wire
no.
catering was great, but this
Yeah.
stuff we had sauerkraut almost every day, right? Sauerkraut. One day we had like pasta with tuna in it that people
Oh.
got sick on.
Yep. That was
Um,
terrible.
We had goulash, but it had like hot dogs in it. It's frightening. Frightening.
Tuna
I was
only
longing
works for
for that
specific
bologna
things.
sandwich. You know? My cousin came from Italy to visit for 3 days, and after one day eating there, he's like, "I can't eat here anymore." I'm set. And he would go off set and he'd call me and he's like, "Hey, you want me to bring you a pizza or something?" Because there was a lot of Italian restaurants there in Austria.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, if you come over here with a pizza, they will strangle me." So he would go, he would eat, then he would come back.
Oh, they look down upon you if you get outside food?
You know, since we were kind of the producers and everything, we had to have camaraderie with the crew.
Sure.
In fact, the first day or 2 or 3 we were there, you know, they were like our enemies. You know, it's like they wanted to kill us in our sleep because we were kind of like, you know, the bosses, more or less.
Yeah.
And but no, we ate with them every day. We ate the same thing they did. We, you know, hung out with them. We did everything they did. And so by day 3, they were our best friends, you know, and we had a great time with. They were wonderful people. So I couldn't start eating, you know, really good food in front of them
Right.
while they were suffering with this stuff.
You peasants
Man,
have to have your
That's
schnitzel
all
now.
that's what you guys have. Oh man.
Ken and
Like,
I
oh, that
lived off
sucks,
of
man.
freaking snacks and cookies.
Yeah.
It does create
Well-
that tension, you know. I was like, sorry, I know Jesse's trying to. I did like a show like background actors, and I remember it was freezing cold, and like they were like all the SAG actors can eat now, and they had all this like warm, fresh food, and they're like, all right, now all the non-SAG actors, and then we had to go, and it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like really old, like a bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
And I had to like
you
sit
get
next
like
to these
a wrapped
people.
burrito or some crap like. We don't do that on our set. Everybody's treated equally.
Yeah, it's good.
Everybody's treated equally. Everybody from the bottom to the top, everybody's treated the same.
Oh, that's definitely good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way you got to do it. You can't,
Yeah.
you know, you're there to have fun and create something. And you know what they say, the weakest link, you know, is somebody that is disenchanted with what you're doing. They could ruin the entire movie, you know? And so everybody needs to be a team player. And so everybody's got to be treated the same.
Yeah. People get along well, they build something better, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
Ken and I, the first thing we do when we go on set is literally the movies we've done is like, you know, if there's any sexual harassment on the set, you're gone. You're done, you know, because we need these people here. And this is not a place for that type of thing, you know. Have as much fun as you want. Be respectful. That's it.
Yeah.
No, for sure. What were you saying, Jesse?
No, I'm sorry, I was gonna wrap it up. So if you have anything else to like to throw out there, go ahead, Jack.
You know, as much as I poke fun at Ken, he is one of my closest friends, and I take a bullet for him. Maybe in the ass cheek, but still a bullet. Still a bullet.
You'd fall on gravel for him, right?
I
Yes,
have.
he would, and he has.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And I would
go
just
ahead,
like to say real quick, Dan is one of my closest friends, and I've been trying to get rid of him for 25 years.
I keep coming back every time, you know, I'm out. He drags me
can't get
back
rid of
in.
That's
I
why
can't
we're
get rid
here,
of
is to adopt him, I guess.
Yeah.
Take him off your hands.
Well, Dan kind of got an offer to be a three-peat guest on here.
Yes.
Before. Wait, actually, one last thing, because not off camera, but right before we started filming, Dan revealed he's not a Scream fan, which I was kind of surprised about. Because talk about like, I think Scream was like
No,
the
wait.
first.
I was a fan of the first 1 and 2.
Oh, you did say the first one. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
agree
I
with
was like, Scream. It was like kind of like the first comedy horror. Poking fun at itself, kind of like, in that. So I just wanted to know you guys' thoughts on the first Scream movie. I guess Ken.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I thought the first couple were very good. Then they had a few that fell off. The one with Jenna Ortega, the Scream 6, I thought was decent. It wasn't bad. I went to the theater and saw that, and I thought it was okay. But what I'm hearing about this latest one is that
I heard it was horrible. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll wait till it comes out on streaming or whatever before I watch it.
And whoever is watching this right now, A Town Called Purgatory is so much better than Scream 3 through 7.
Oh, for sure.
That's right. So
they won't fire under doctors.
Night Watchmen on Tubi, the Night Watchmen, and we're gonna we'll probably use the cover it as the thumbnail for this.
Awesome.
Make sure you get that. Make sure you get that one, and make sure you write in The Night Watchmen on Tubi, because I had the trouble too. I was like,
Watchmen,
yes,
not watch.
Not why. Right. Go ahead, Jack.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say Watchmen, plural, like the Watchmen, not Watchman. Just so you know. Just so you guys know. I would also say the first Scream is a great movie, and I haven't seen any of the sequels, so I can't. Although I did go see Scream 6 with a date a few years ago, and she would not stop talking the entire movie, and people started to turn around and look angrily at my direction, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. I was even like, hey, I think people are starting to get annoyed by this, and she was like, I don't care. Anyway, I hear it's good. I have to watch it again.
Jack, you didn't marry her, did you?
No, definitely not. I hope she's not watching this, but she's with some other guy talking in another movie theater right now.
Yes.
That's what she's doing at the moment. A Town Called Purgatory kicks their ass any day of the week. For sure. Yes. And I'll also say, I'm going to plug myself for once. I'll be on Broadway Comedy Club April 11th if anyone's interested. Be there. Hell yeah. All right, go ahead, Jesse.
No, so thank you guys for coming on. Ken, it was an honor meeting you. Dan, we're always emailing back and forth. Let's keep this friendship going. If I could call you.
Absolutely, Jesse.
And you're welcome back anytime. Ken, same for you. If you guys have any movies coming up and stuff, just let us know, and we'll shout you out as much as we can and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for doing a late night shoot with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, this was great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.